Hello friends, welcome to CEC online lectures. So today we are going to start with a very core concept in human resource management, that is the recruitment, selection and placement of employees in an organization. So we all are well aware of the fact that in today's competitive globalized environment, acquiring the right employees has far-reaching implications for any organization's success. Employees, when well selected with the right skills, knowledge, and competence, can contribute immensely to the effectiveness of an organization. So, effectiveness can mean different in different organizations, but whatever parameters an organization has for its effectiveness, there is no denying the fact that employees play a very significant role in achieving those parameters and achieving effectiveness for an organization. However, a wrong person hired can cost an organization not only its profitability and performance, but even its image. So, even a single wrong person hired can be a costly affair for an organization in terms of losing its profitability, losing its productivity, and even getting a wrong image. Thus, having the right type of people at the right time and in right numbers is very crucial for any organization to be effective. But how can this be done? Well, this can be done with a good recruitment process. So, friends, what we are going to learn today in this lecture is that what is recruitment and what are the types of recruitment needs. What is the purpose and significance of recruitment? And then what is a recruitment policy? The ingredients of an effective recruitment policy and the prerequisites of a good recruitment policy. So let's begin our journey of recruitment. So friends, in any organization, employees are considered to be the biggest asset, and people management is the most important function managed by human resource management department. So what is recruitment? Well, it is a central operation in human resource management that is designed to maximize the employee strength to attain organization's strategic goals and objectives. So at any given point of time, you must have the right number of people in the organization. Only then an organization can achieve its goals, its objectives. So that is the importance of recruitment. Now, recruitment is considered to be a core function of human resource management. So as I started the lecture, I said we are going to talk of some core aspect, and it is a core function of human resource management. Now, why is recruitment considered to be a core function of human resource management? Well, we all are aware that it is only after recruitment that the rest of the functions of human resource management can come into play. For example, training, appraisal, rewards, recognition, performance management. These all functions can only take place after we have recruited our people, after we have recruited our workforce. And it is also core function because people are the core of any organization. You might be having good strategies, you might be having good products, a good marketing strategy in place, but who is going to perform? Who is going to make those products? Who is going to make those strategies? It is ultimately the people. And how you get people is what recruitment is all about. So that is why we say recruitment is the core function of human resource management. So as far as defining recruitment is concerned, it has been defined in a number of ways by various researchers. Some say that it is a process of identifying, screening, shortlisting, and hiring the potential resource for filling up the vacant positions in an organization. It also refers to the process of attracting, selecting, and appointing potential candidates to meet the organization's resource requirements. So, in a very simpler terms, we can say that recruitment is the process of choosing the right person for the right position and at the right time. So it is not only that we have to choose the right person, but the timing and the position at which we are recruiting is also as crucial as appointing the right person. Now, let's understand what are the various types of recruitment needs. Well, recruitment needs can be of three types. The first one being a planned need, the second, an anticipated need, and the third is the unexpected need. So, as far as the planned recruitment need is concerned, it goes with the human resource planning. For example, if we plan certain project in future, if we plan a certain expansion in our organization or in a particular department, so we recruit people of that required skill set. So that is a planned need. The second is the anticipated need. Anticipated needs means that we anticipate certain changes in the environment, and these changes can be both external changes or any internal changes in the organization. So in anticipation of those changes, we hire people. So that is the anticipated needs. And the third can be unexpected recruitment needs. So at times there are chances that that an employee may resign unexpectedly, or there can be a death of an employee or a transfer of an employee. So in that case also the organization begins its recruitment. So these are the types of recruitment needs that arise in an organization. Now coming to the scope of recruitment. So what all activities or what all functions are performed in the recruitment process? So firstly, the recruitment deals with excess or shortage of resources. So at any point of time, there must not be excess of employees in any department, or there should not be shortage, because both these processes or I should say both these aspects, that is excess and shortage, is a costly affair for an organization. Then another important scope of recruitment is preparing the recruitment policy for an organization, and we are going to learn in the next part of this lecture that what is a recruitment policy. So that is an important scope whereby some policies, some standards are designed by the HR managers. Then we analyze the recruitment policies, the processes and procedures of the organization. Then another scope of recruitment is restructuring the hiring process with suitable recommendations and choosing the best suitable process of recruitment for effective hiring of resources. Now let's learn the significance of recruitment. Why is recruitment important? What is the significance of recruitment? Well, recruitment determines the current and the future job requirements. So it not only determines the current job requirements, it also anticipates the future job requirements, and it increases and creates the pool of candidates for a job at a minimal cost. So that is the main function of recruitment, to create a pool of candidates, and so that more and more number of people can actually apply for the vacancy. So it attracts and encourages the applicants to apply for the vacancies in an organization. It also meets the organization's social and legal obligations with regards to the workforce. So we all know that every organization in whatever country it is, there are certain social and legal obligations that the organization has to fulfill. So with the recruitment, you can meet your social and legal obligations. And it also links the potential employees with employers and employers with the employees. So that is the crucial significance of recruitment. There are people who need job and there are people who need employees. So recruitment is the bridge, is the link between the employee and the employer. Then it also helps in increasing the success rate of selecting the right candidate. See, if you have a good recruitment process, a good recruitment policy, then the chances of selecting the right candidates increases. But if your recruitment policy and procedures and processes are not up to the mark, are not in sync with the demands of the organization, then you might land up hiring the wrong people. So it is very important that you have a good recruitment process and a good recruitment policy so that you hire the right people who can be retained in the organization. So hiring is not only significant for just joining the employee for the organization, that the candidate must be retained in the organization. That is also important. Then another significant aspect of recruitment is that it helps in identifying the job applicants and selecting the appropriate resources, evaluating the effectiveness of the various recruitment techniques. So these recruitment techniques must be evaluated from time to time. And as we already learned that a good recruitment process, a good recruitment procedure helps in increasing the organizational effectiveness. Now let's learn about a recruitment policy. So recruitment policy was a significant, we can say, function or a scope of recruitment process. Now, what is a recruitment policy? Well, recruitment policy is a statement on how an organization hires. So it outlines its preferred hiring practices and promotes consistency within the employee recruitment process. So the basic objective of a good recruitment policy is to make sure that the right candidate is hired following the right process for hiring and selection. So I had already stated this, that it is not only important to have the right candidate, but the entire recruitment process, the entire hiring and selecting process should be, right. Right means it should be fair, and we are going to learn these aspects. So it is only relevant to have the right candidate only if we have the right hiring process. Now, as far as the recruitment policy is concerned, there must be a sync between the hired candidate and the organizational values, philosophy, and goals. Now, this is a very important aspect when we talk of recruitment policy and we talk of hiring people. So most of the times what happens is that the organizational goals and personal goals or individual goals do not match, or the organization's philosophy and personal philosophy or individual philosophy of an employee do not match. Now, this mismatch can cost an organization, because when such people are hired whose philosophies and whose values do not match with those of the organization, it is imperative that they leave the organization. So there must be a sync between the people we are hiring and the organizational values and the philosophy of the organization. Now, let's consider that what all is included in the recruitment policy. So recruitment policy basically consists of these three things, that is the philosophy, the procedures, and the standards. So let's learn about these. While designing your recruitment policy, the organizations must share their philosophy. So it is at the beginning of the policy. It exhibits how they approach the recruiting, expressing the organization's unique perspective. So every organization has certain unique perspectives, and these must be clearly shared in the form of the organization's philosophy in the recruitment policy. Now, these unique perspectives can be any action that you feel strongly about and that is imbibed in the organization's culture, or it can be any idea that you are committed to and how you adopt it. So for example, if you want to be an eco-friendly or an environment-friendly organization, and you have certain green culture in your organization, so that must be shared in the form of a philosophy. And whatever you are trying to pose, whatever you are trying to build in terms of your employer brand, that must also be shared in the form of the philosophy in the recruitment policy. The second aspect of recruitment policy is the procedure. So the organization must outline the procedure. So this is the main body of recruitment and selection policy, and recommend a series of hiring stages as a reference, and adding other necessary information. Like, you must outline your pre-hiring stages. So if you have any pre-hiring stages or phases in your recruitment, you must describe those and outline the standard hiring process. So whatever stages are there, whatever procedures are there in the hiring process, you must outline those processes, and also mention the tools and methods you are going to use in the hiring and selecting process. So these have to be outlined in the recruitment policy. Then also set the standards. So you must highlight your legal and equality requirements. So equal employment opportunity, you must design an effective equal employment opportunity statement, and also try and instruct your recruiters to always include in the vacancy advertisements. And also, as far as the standards of recruitment policy are concerned, you must try and train your hiring teams on the legal requirements or some illegal questions that have to be avoided. So it is not an easy job to just have the hiring team or hiring people. These teams who are hiring people, they themselves must be trained in a proper manner, so that they are aware of the legal requirements, and they are aware of what to be asked and what not to be asked, what to be avoided. They must, try and avoid biases, because as human beings, we all have a certain preconceived notion. These notions can be regarding gender, regarding race, ethnicity, religion. So these must be avoided if you have to have, a good recruitment policy. And while hiring, your hiring team must be aware that these biases must be avoided. There must not be any prejudice while you are hiring. And lastly, the candidate data is a very confidential aspect of an individual. So that candidate data in the form of the job application, that should be kept confidential throughout the hiring process. So organizations must establish their recruiting philosophy, the procedures and standards in a way that offers useful advice to recruiters and an excellent experience to all the candidates. So we had learned that candidate experience is very crucial, and the candidate experience or employee experience begins the day he or she applies for your organization. So if you have a very tedious procedure or process, so the employee experience will not be very good, right? So if that is a seamless procedure and everyone enjoys applying and appearing for the interview, so that gives a good that creates a good image in the minds of the potential candidates. To survive well, organizations must have a concise and a clear recruitment policy, so that it can have best talent from a pool of candidates. And having a robust recruitment policy is the first demand of any efficient hiring process. So, how to create an effective recruitment policy? So, first of all, you must be clear on the strategy. What strategies you are going to apply while hiring? And as I said, it must be a non-biased policy, that is very crucial, and have clear-cut guidelines that have to be followed for the recruitment, selection as well as induction. And we are going to learn about all these terms, the recruitment, selection, induction, placement. So there are minor differences in all these terms, and we are going to learn in the next part of the lecture that how these terms are different. But we must have, a clear-cut guideline as to how we are going to recruit, select, and induct people. And all these stakeholders who are involved in the recruitment process, they must be aware of their responsibilities, and they must have a clear-cut guidelines as to what they are going to perform in the recruitment process. And the stress of the recruitment policy must be on recruiting the right talent at any cost. Whoever you are recruiting, it must be done purely on the basis of merit, and the recruitment policy must be clear on the terms and conditions of employments. Whatever the category of employees you are recruiting, there should be clear-cut guidelines on that also, that whether these posts are permanent posts or you are hiring temporary employees or consultants, etc. So there has to be clarity on these aspects. So when there is a clear-cut recruitment policy, it becomes easier for the organization to undertake the recruitment process and hire good people. So what is the principles of recruitment policy? Well, as far as the principles are concerned, the organization must make sure that only the deserving and meritorious candidates are hired, so that the most suitable candidate is identified. So it should ensure that recruitment and selection of candidates happen in a professional way, because it is the first impression that an employee takes home. If the recruitment and selection procedure is not done in a professional manner, and it is a chaos at the time of recruitment, where people do not know where to go, whom to meet, what forms to fill, so that gives a very bad impression, and that creates a wrong image in the minds of the potential employees. So it is very important that the entire process is a seamless process, and it is done in a professional manner, following the rules and regulations under the employment legislation. Then it should ensure that all employees involved in the recruitment and selection process, they are well trained, and the recruitment process to be carried out in a manner that enhances the image of the organization. So as I said, that the potential employees, they create the image of that organization, that they start filling the application form, and the day they appear for the interview in the organization. So if it is not done in a proper manner, in a professional manner, then it is very much evident and very clear that they are going to take back some wrong image. So then they must carry out the process in a transparent and effective manner. So there should not be anything that should be hidden from the candidates. The process should be transparent, and candidates must be treated equally and fairly, so that there is a positive recruitment experience. Also, make sure that the process is carried out in a cost-effective manner, because we all know that the advertisement and the recruitment procedure or the process can be a costly affair. So it must be tried that it should be carried out in such a manner that it doesn't cost much. And another very important aspect of recruitment policy is that any employee in recruitment team who has a certain close relationship with any of the candidates applying for any position, he or she must declare that in the beginning of the recruitment process, so that he or she will not be involved in any decision making process. So if I am a recruiter and one of my relatives is appearing in the interview, so I must disclose this thing in the beginning also, so that I am not I'm not involved in the decision making process, and I am out of the hiring procedure. So that ensures a non-biased and a transparent recruiting process. So the candidate information also must be treated with confidentiality, and it should not be shared with any third agency. Friends, with this we come to the end of the first part of the lecture on recruitment and selection. So we learned that what is recruitment, we learned about the definitions of recruitment, we learned that what is the significance of recruitment for an organization, and how a recruitment policy is important for an organization. What are the prerequisites of a good recruitment policy? So in the next lecture we are going to learn about some other aspects of recruitment. Thank you.